and Mother went up the stairs and into the house, and I could not get up the stairs. And
which would have been no problem
there
before.
I was screaming, yes, because I could not get up the stairs. My leg didn't work.
You'll hear this and more on Focus Your Inner Bitch, the Mary Bratton story, a special series on Jim Bratton Podcast.
Well, hello, and this is Chapter 2 with Focus Your Inner Bitch, the Mary Bratton story. You know, one of the things that I really do like about this is I get a chance to look into your eyes while we're doing this.
Oh, Jim,
And
I'm so glad you love me.
I do. And you know what had occurred to me? Is a lot of times people don't sit and talk into each other's eyes that often. I mean, we talk side by side. We talk maybe across a table, but we're busy doing other things. And so this has just got its own niceness about being able to hang with you like this. All righty. So down to the story now. So the last thing we talked about was your folks and sort of how they got together. And we talked a little bit about your dad and his Huckleberry Finn, etc. And then you had said, wait till you hear about my mom. So tell me.
When my mother was, I think right before, or right as she was going into high school, probably, she tested positive for tuberculosis. And so they put her in sanatorio, which I guess is a sanitarium. That's what they called it, a sanatorio.
Was that in Houston?
In Houston. And I don't know where it was. However, I seem to think it was probably out Memorial and Washington Avenue area.
Which would have been on the edge of town at that time.
Yes.
Or almost out of town.
Yes. And
this is when now?
As she was probably going into high school.
Wow.
And whether she had tuberculosis or not, I don't know. Or if she did, it was probably a very mild case.
But she tested positive.
But she tested positive for it, and she did the rest of her life test positive for it. So
this was not an anomaly of a test or a bad test or anything.
It was a horrible thing. Now, she was in this sanatorio for, I don't know, at least 6 months.
Yeah?
Maybe a year and a half. She was in there for a little while.
So she missed a bunch of high school. Tell me what they did.
Well, that is when she came out. Let's see, how did the story go? She said they let her out and she didn't know what she was going to do or how she was going to get home. She didn't even have bus fare or trolley fare or whatever it is to get herself home.
Did they even tell anybody she was coming?
No, I don't know the answer to that. However, she said that there was a woman there that she knew, and the woman said, I'll give you a ride home. And she did.
I'm just stunned.
I am too, Jim. That hurts my soul. To think my mother went through that.
I don't even know what to say to that. She was there for a good while.
Yes, and I do not remember whether it was 6 months to a year and a half, I would say, because when she came out, that's when she wanted to go to beauty school because she would have been late, I guess, from going to high school. But no, she liked fixing hair, so she wanted to do that. And I think that's about when she met my dad for the first time.
Was she even did she finish high school then?
No, this is very interesting. She always said, when I was a kid, she told us, she did not graduate from high school. She did graduate from beauty school. And one of the moves that we made once we started moving them around, my sister Gloria found her high school diploma, or her diploma from beauty school, which was a vocational high school.
Oh,
So she did graduate from high school. She thought she did not. She thought that that was her diploma from beauty school, but it says Houston Independent School District. She graduated from vocational school.
do you think that some of that needing to go to beauty school, besides the fact that she liked working with hair, was at that stage a need to feel some kind of self-sufficiency after being marooned in the sanatorium for a while?
Could be, but as I said, she met my dad probably during that time because he had, asked her early on.
But that was after she had to be after she got
after
out.
she got out of the sanatorium.
I just can't imagine her being pulled in there and isolated.
And did she tell me anything about the time she was in there? No.
That's my next question.
I
Did she
never
ever speak of it?
She never spoke of it.
I mean, there are several things working. There was ignorance about the disease. There's the fact that she was Latina, which did not help things at all, I'm sure, in terms of the level of treatment that she got. And you think this was erased from her memory completely?
I don't know. I cannot tell
Or she
you.
just felt like she needed to protect you from that, from sharing that?
I don't know. I now that you mention it, she might have, because at 4 years old, there I was in the hospital with polio. So maybe she did think she needed to protect me from that. I don't know.
We'll get to that. Let's talk a little bit more about it.
So anyway, I think Dad asked her to marry him then, and she said yes, she would marry him, but she wanted to go to beauty school
We mentioned
first,
that,
and
yes.
we talked about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, she finally did marry him, and here we go.
First years, so you are the, third oldest, third child.
I had two older brothers. Gregory was born about a year, 13 months after they got married.
Right.
And then when Gregory was a baby, they had the bombing at Pearl Harbor. And so Daddy thought that he could join the civil defense, and he did.
Right.
And so they had to move to San Antonio.
Right.
Okay. And they had him repairing airplanes.
Yeah.
So when they moved to San Antonio, we had my daddy had a lot of relatives in San Antonio.
This is from the Seguin side
Yes,
of the family?
from the Seguin side of the family. And that's my grandmother and my grandmother's sisters. They were all there.
So they moved there with two kids? Great. Okay.
No, just Gregory.
Gregory only. Okay.
Gregory only. And then he got sent to England, my dad.
Part of civil defense.
Part of civil defense. And he had to wear an army uniform.
Right.
And because they would have, if the enemy would have caught him, he would have been a traitor big time in being in civil defense. I have no idea why, but they really made him, had to wear an army uniform and what have you, and he did do, repaired airplanes.
Right. But he was not in the Army.
But he was not in the Army.
I don't understand all the ramifications
I
of
don't.
that.
I don't either.
And
but
you know what? He's of an era where they don't talk a whole bunch about
no, they did not. And he worked on airplanes there, and so that's why he went to England.
Went to England, not in the Army.
Not
part
in
of
the
civil
Army,
Defense. But
in
there's
civil
the rest
defense.
of the story, right?
Yes, exactly. When he came home, then I believe that's when Raymond was probably conceived,
Right.
and Daddy was drafted then
So
because he was a living, breathing
male.
male.
He volunteered for civil defense
Right,
and then ends up getting drafted.
right. And so then he went to Fort Riley, Kansas, as I
Right.
understand it, and anyway, through boot camp and the whole shooting match, and then they sent him to the Pacific.
So holy cow.
So that's why he served in both the Atlantic and the Pacific. If you had gone to one, they didn't send you to the other.
But because he would,
But because he had been civil defense, they sent him to the Pacific.
did he talk about the Pacific at all?
As I understand it, he was in the Philippines somewhere, and they were getting ready for the invasion there. And, of course, then they were going to have then they had, of course, the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and the Japanese gave up. That was the end of the war. And
Well, he
then
saw
came
about as
home.
much of a war as anybody ought to,
Yes,
didn't he?
yes.
Came back
And he came back, right.
to San Antonio still, or were you
No,
back in Houston by that?
when my daddy was sent to England, my mother had a car, and they had a car, and my uncle went to San Antonio to come to help my mother drive back. And they had I don't know, they said 5 or 7, I forgot how many, flat tires on the way because,
rationing.
remember, rationing. Exactly. And they kept having flat tires, and so Mother and Gregory finally made it home. And she stayed with her mother when she came home, back in Magnolia area, yes.
Both our parents went through so much during that war, and I'm not sure the amount of sacrifices they willingly made. You know, like the tires keep blowing out, and they kept going and moving. I remember my mom would follow my dad from place to place as he went through training. I mean, these folks just
They did what they had to.
absolutely, which sort of brings us around to the title of our conversations, and that is "Focus Your Inner Bitch." These folks did that.
They did.
Just
You are
whatever
right.
they
They
needed
did.
to do.
Whatever they needed to do, that is correct.
Wow. You want to wrap it up there for this episode?
No, what do you want to talk about? We can talk about.
Okay. Well, here's where I'd like to.
We can go on to
Here's what we need to hit next.
to my very first memories of which were polio.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. You were born how long after Raymond then?
A couple of years, 2.5 years probably later after Raymond.
Living in
He was
Magnolia.
45, yes, and I was 47.
What do you remember of your early childhood, if anything?
The several things. The part that I remember, I do not remember this, but I was told that I had a horrible headache, and my mother said, "Let's go next door and see if her sister, Rose, had something that she could give me for my headache." Yeah, because I was really complaining about the
How
headache.
old were you?
I was 4 years old. And so they lived right next door, and so we out the back door,
Right.
down the stairs, across the driveway, and Mother went up the stairs and
Yeah.
into the house, and I could not get up the stairs. And
Which would have
there
been
I
no
was-
problem
There I was
before.
screaming, yes, because I could not get up the stairs. My leg didn't work.
Just quit. Headache, and then your leg quit.
Yeah.
Was it that quick? Had she noticed anything before?
We don't know. I don't know.
Well, who
That's-
looks
what-
for that? That's right.
That's how the story goes.
Yeah, no.
Then we went to about a zillion different doctors
Right.
trying to figure out what it was. And at one time I was diagnosed with rheumatic fever,
Right.
and so they started treating me for that. And then we finally was diagnosed with polio. And I do not recall very much about that either.
The doctor to doctor stuff
No,
does
to
not.
the doctor stuff I do not recall. However, when I went into the polio hospital, which was Hedgecroft, which is in Montrose.
Is that where University of St. Thomas is, sort of now?
Sort of, yes. Remember, I showed you the hospital.
Right, I recall that. It looked like it was almost like...
It was a big house. I think it's an architectural firm now.
Yeah.
But anyway, I had to be in the hospital. and I was in a private room, and Mother could stay with me 24/7, and so she did. And Daddy, of course, would come and go. And then when Mother had to leave for some reason, oh, you have to understand, I had really light brown hair at the time.
Right.
I spoke perfect English, and when Mother left me, I just turned on the Spanish and did not speak any English. So here they were trying to talk to me to do things, and I just turned on the Spanish and did not speak any English to them.
What a strange phenomenon.
And I did not, because I wasn't sad or upset or what have you. They just said that I turned on the Spanish and pretended I could not speak English and did not understand it. So isn't that interesting? I'm 4 years old, okay, and I'm doing that.
Were you even fluent in Spanish?
Yes, I was,
Okay.
because remember we were in Magnolia.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I had learned English and Spanish together.
Yeah, together
I mean,
simultaneously.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
But
I was
but,
fully bilingual
but you
for a
shut
4-year-old.
so you shut down your English.
I shut down my English. So then I got put into an award.
So you were
where
in a
there
private
were-
room.
Yes.
But was there any reason why you were put in the ward as opposed to the private room, do you think?
Well, sure. They finally had it. They thought it was probably under control, and I could be in a ward with everybody else. Then.
Oh, so private
A
room
private room initially.
for isolation. Sort of.
I don't know if it was for
Who knows?
isolation
I mean,
or for
and,
what,
and,
but
and people didn't know what they were doing then either.
No, they didn't.
They were
They did not.
faltering with it, of course.
exactly, they didn't know what it was. Now, Raymond, my brother, tells a story that I came home from school and Mother was crying and crying and crying. And Daddy was holding her because her beautiful baby girl had polio.
So that's when they realized the diagnosis.
Yes. Of course, I don't remember that. I wasn't there. I was in the hospital, or I guess I was.
So
anyway,
it just kept up. It just
yes.
finally caught up to her. Gosh, they were strong, Mary, both of them.
And what do I remember of my treatments? Okay.
Yeah, take me there.
One of them, they would wrap something around me that was like a blood pressure cup, but it went all around my
Pressure.
leg, the calf, my right calf.
Right.
And
that's where you had the polio.
Yes. And what it would feel like, it would put my leg to sleep because it felt like the needles were sticking into my leg. And I don't remember it hurting it. It just felt like it was asleep. When your leg or arm or whatever feels like it's asleep, you feel the
prickly.
pricks. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I would feel. Another thing that I remember is after I was released, I would have to go back for treatments, and I would sit in a whirlpool that looked like a garbage can. And I know it was funny, but Raymond, I was in the treatment room, and Raymond was down the hall, and I could see him, and he was laughing because I was in a trash can. And it had a seat in it so
Right.
I could sit down, and I was in the whirlpool. And there were several people in this treatment room facility in other trash cans or in pools of some kind. I remember a big pool off to one side, and they were whole body immersion, and I was just probably down from my waist down in this trash can.
When you were in the ward,
Yes.
were there iron lungs in there too?
Oh yes, yes. There were several.
There are a lot of you listening who don't know what an iron lung is. I don't even know how to describe it.
Well, let's see. How do you describe it? It is like a big tube that a person could fit in, and it breathed for you.
Your head would stick
and
out.
Your head would be sticking out, but you could hear it. And it was helping them breathe. And they could move inside the tube, but it was around their neck, so just their head was out. And there were several iron lungs in the ward with me. And, let's see, a couple of other things I do remember. When I was in the hospital, I would get to go home on the weekend, right?
Yeah.
So it was great. They were feeding us supper, and I didn't like whatever it was they were feeding me, and I said I wasn't going to eat that. I wasn't going to eat that. I was going to go home for the weekend, so I wasn't going to eat that. And they said, well, if you don't eat it, you're not going home. And I said, oh, well, just watch me. I'll do it. I'll go home. Anyway, my daddy walks into the ward from the far end of the room, and I see him. And by the time he got to me, all the food in my plate was
Gone.
down my throat because I ate.
To make sure you got to go home.
I was going home, exactly.
Of what you remember, were the caregivers pretty nice most of the time? Or do you even recall?
I hardly remember. Oh, I remember them since I was in the hospital around Christmas. Everybody gave me dolls and stuffed animals and
Really?
that kind of thing. And I thought I had to have all of those damn dolls in my bed with me. And it wasn't a bed; it was more like a crib than a bed. And I had to have all those, and I had them all standing up all around the sides and everywhere. And when they'd tell me I'd had to take some of them out so I could lay down and go to sleep, and I was really pissed off because they made me take them out.
Did you feel like you had some company during the night then? Let me ask you something.
No.
You have got an incredibly high pain threshold now, even in adulthood. Do you remember pain skills during that time?
I do not remember any pain during that time.
You think you just shut down that part of your brain during that time?
Do I know? No, Jim. I do not remember any pain. As I said, I remember that
The prickliness
on that one, and I remember being in the whirlpool, but it didn't do anything to me. But I do not remember any pain whatsoever.
I want to ask one thing before we get to you going home, and then we're going to wrap up for this chapter. But tell me what your feelings are on vaccines now.
God damn, you better get it.
Yeah.
You do not want to go through what I've gone through. And there's a continuing saga to the polio. Believe me.
There's more to come.
A lot more to come, because my feet are two different sizes. My legs are two different sizes. You can't even begin to know all of the pain and agony, emotional pain and agony I have been through with it.
And survived.
And lived.
We're going to pause right there.
Yeah. Go ahead and stop.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up then.
Okay. Yeah. Whoa, do I have to go to the bathroom? Again, I don't know.
I'm going to lead you in. Don't worry. We paused for a while because the conversation about polio and hence the commentary on vaccines. Mary, would you say that anti-vaxxers
are stupid?
Are ignorant assholes?
Yes.
Any of you out there, anti-vaxxers? Fuck you. All right. That said, while you were in the ward, did kids disappear? Were there kids that were there one night and gone the next?
Yes.
At your age.
And they were different ages. Everybody was different ages. We had maybe teenagers, and we had little kids like my age and what have you. I remember when I was saying about the food, There were 4 of us sitting at a little tiny table. Those of us that could be out. Of course, the folks in the Iron Lung, I don't remember if they ever came out or if they fed them in the Iron Lung or what. But
What was it like going to sleep with that sound?
it was a constant, so I didn't.
It was just there.
And it was interesting. Let's see, there were about 3 or 4 of them in there. Now I have a later story when I was in Tier at age 14.
We'll come back to that, by the way.
Okay.
Let's just, for right now, if you're okay, we'll wrap up this chapter,
yes.
this episode.
Yes.
I know it's been emotionally difficult for you and even for me. Next time we'll talk about your childhood. And those of you that are anti-vaxxers, I'm not going to apologize because I think you are ignorant assholes. This has been Focus Your Inner Bitch, the Mary Bratton story, and this is the Jim Bratton Podcast. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Jim.
And thank all of you for listening.
This has been Jim Bratton Podcast. We hope you have enjoyed, been inspired, informed, angered, or otherwise emotionally stimulated. This is your booth announcer, Sierra Sakel.